What's up, space pirates? This is your admiral, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster, and it looks like Warhorse Studios has been very successfully wearing a mask to fool gamers for a long time, but that mask has been forcibly removed as more information comes out about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and as gamers stare in horror at what was beneath that mask, we can only say,
"You're one ugly motherfucker."
Warhorse's stances on LGBT stuff in their game have clearly flip-flopped based on an obscure post that has just resurfaced and erupted all across social media in the past several hours, painting the studio as hypocrites in light of the way that they have described their new game and their decision to allow Henry to have same-sex romance options. It seems quite clear that they were really just posturing as they tried to convince players that they were like this.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
But ultimately, Daniel Vavra and the studio are opportunists who caved under the pressure of the big corporate entities who pushed them into adding the LGBT stuff. One could argue that maybe they were sincere when they started out, but based on this resurfaced post, which I'll show you in a minute here, this is actually what the studio behaves like.
Look, I came here to chew bubblegum and pack boxes, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Look, I swallowed it. Is that bad?
In this post, which is actually the comment section of one of their streams from several years ago before the original Kingdom Come game was released, they make it crystal clear that their stance back then was that Henry is an established character with an established background. He was a straight dude, period. And yet, here's something the Warhorse community manager on Steam just wrote several hours ago. They were asked, why is Henry forced to be heterosexual in the first Kingdom Come? And the community manager replied simply, budget constraints. And to that, I suppose gamers can sit back and watch this hypocritical spectacle unfold, thankful that at least for a bunch of us, Warhorse is saving us money.
He's losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and also give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But anyways, let's have a look at what's going on now with Warhorse and this resurfaced post of theirs, which has really buried them, especially in conjunction with that community manager post that I showed you a minute ago. That one was so bad that, as you can see here, even Grums, who was like me and really wanted to give Warhorse the benefit of the doubt, but even he just announced that he's over it when it comes to this game. And speaking of Grums, he's actually where this resurfaced post from Warhorse came from. Here is what he wrote on X, along with a screenshot of the image of this post. He said, "People sent me this on Kingdom Come 2, and I asked them to trace it back so I could confirm the source. It's from a Warhorse stream, and this is the comment section. It is, or rather was, the official marketing and design position of the first game. From this it's clear that Daniel and Warhorse changed their mind from Henry is Henry and definitely not you to now Henry is you with your own choices in the sequel. This is both a lore and a design philosophy change. I can understand why players of the first game invested in Henry as a character would be upset. I think a lot of this could have been avoided by being much more upfront with their customer base and their responses, which have been consistently terrible. And yeah, if they were more upfront, they might have avoided this whole controversy, but instead, they hid behind the excuse that, hey, these are just RPG games, and in an RPG, it's the player who makes decisions, so don't blame us. And for someone like myself, who has not played the original game, that sounded reasonable, at least at first. But look at this post here, it's from 8 years ago, and this person asked if the original Kingdom Come game will have same-sex romance or even any kind of romance, and the Warhorse YouTube account replied saying, no, you will play as Henry, the son of a blacksmith, and he already does have a background story in which he is not bi or homosexual, but there will be homosexual NPCs, and I mean, if you look at what the community manager said on Steam again there, you can see that one of these posts has to be an absolute lie. Either they were full of shit 8 years ago when they were peddling the idea that Henry was his own character, or they are lying now when they tell us that budget constraints were the only reason that Henry wasn't bi all the way back then. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Either way, these are liars who will say whatever it takes to get you to like them. But there's more to the post that we should look at because it shows them, Warhorse that is, giving a good answer 8 years ago to a follow-up question which looks disingenuous now in light of what we know about them these days. The YouTube user who had been asking about same-sex options wrote, so, players who aren't straight will be forced to romance a woman? And Warhorse replied, nobody will force you to do anything, but you will play as Henry, the son of a blacksmith, and yes, he is straight, and white, and male, and from Bohemia. Someone from France will not be able to play a French guy even if he loves his country. If you are in a wheelchair, you will be able to walk in the game. And Henry will be able to have a dog in the game even if you are more of a cat person. You will play as a Christian even if you are a Muslim, Hindu, atheist, or Jedi. What if you are an artist and drawing is your life, and now you have to play as a character who is not able to hold a brush or pen at all, or if you are tall or small or big or skinny? There is nothing wrong with people having different preferences and heritages, but we cannot cover them all, and we don't want to. We want to tell the story of Henry, and he will be different than you, not only in his sexuality, but in his heritage and much more. He maybe will be able to do things you are not able to do in real life, while he lacks in other tasks in which you are great. This game is not meant to be about you. You are not Henry, but you will be able to play as him if you want to. And I've got to say that on its own, at face value, this was a really great answer. It's everything you want to hear from a studio. It sounds like they have conviction. But if we are to believe the community manager now, they were just lying. This YouTube commenter then replied to Warhorse again in an insufferable way, saying, you have your point, I'll buy it because it's a great game, but you guys should listen to what customers want. And Warhorse answers back saying, yes, we try to listen, but we cannot cover everything, and before we get lost in all the ideas of different people, which will lead to a shallow game, we have to focus on our core ideas. And as you can see at the bottom there, then someone from a few hours ago replied to this post saying, oh wow, this didn't age well, did it? I guess time/money really does change people. And yeah, by their own admission, Warhorse apparently started listening to outside voices, thinking they were going to capture the modern audience. And by doing so, they abandoned their core ideas and made what they themselves call a shallow game. This post is absolutely damning. And when combined with Daniel Vavra, the studio co-founder and writer of the game, who has been spiraling and crashing out on social media, well, this just isn't a good look for these guys. People ask me why I rarely post anything positive about games, and I want to be. I really want to be positive. That's why I was in the corner of Warhorse for so long. Believe me, I really want to be positive. I understand that we can't just be negative and attack all the time. We have to build a culture, but shit. This right here is why gamers are so naturally negative. These a-holes at Warhorse have been successfully masquerading as based for years, and they fooled me. With that in mind, it is really hard to want to be positive about much of anything coming out these days. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you make of this Resurfaced post? If you are someone who still plans to buy this game, and that's okay if you are, people are allowed to disagree, we aren't a monolith around here, but if you still plan to get it, I would especially like to hear from you as to what you think of this post. Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.